Hello class, welcome to our lesson today, the second half of section 6.6, dealing with discounts and markups. We started this lesson in our previous class period. We're going to continue on today looking at these two ideas, also reviewing a little bit about two-step equations. So let's go ahead and start with our equation piece. Remember, your work should look kind of similar to what's here. So remember, you have to do the order of operations backwards. So to get 5x minus 3 equals 21, to get x by itself, you're going to do the opposite of minus 3, which is plus 3. I do that on both sides. These two cancel each other out because minus 3 or negative 3 plus 3 ends up going away. It's 0. Then I have 5x equals 24 and divide by 5 on both sides. Now this does not work out to be an integer answer, but that's okay. You have the improper fraction, 24 over 5, that would work. You have 4 and 4/5 that would work. And then you also have 4.8. That would be a third version that would work in this situation. The second question has two options. One option is you could multiply the negative 4 and distribute it into the equation. If you do that, make sure you distribute the negative sign appropriately and take the negative 4 into both pieces and make sure that's negative 4x and then plus 8, not minus 8. And then still the two-step equation, subtract 8 on both sides, then divide by negative 4 to find your answer of negative 3. The other option, which I would suggest if it works out decently, is just to divide by negative 4 at the beginning. Because really what you have here is you have a negative 4 multiplied by something in parentheses. And in the order of operations, that multiplication is less important than the parentheses. So you could get rid of that first, and that would also work in this situation. You'll get the exact same answer as you're dealing with that scenario. Okay, this is just a review of what we did in our previous lesson. Remember, the original price is the whole. Percent of discount, we typically want percent paid because we want to find the sale price, which is the part. So if it's 35% off, I paid 65%, so I'm looking for 65% of 95. I could do the equation or proportion. I'm doing the equation here, making the decimal from the percentage of 65% times 95, and then that will equal 61.75 or $61.75. Remember, since it's money, you're going to go to two place values as you look at this scenario. Next one gives you the sale price. You're working backwards. So if you know the percent discount, you need to know how much you paid. So remember, think of the health bar idea. 100% is the whole thing. 40% discount. I paid 60% then. I want to know what 60% is then. This is 78. That's what 60% represents, equals 60% of the whole. And to find that, I'm going to have to divide by 0.60, and I get an answer of $130. The next one doesn't give you the percent of discount. There's two ways that you could find that. One is just to use the numbers given to you. This is the whole, this is the part. So that'd be 43.75 equals x times 50 because percent of the whole. Divide by 50, I get 0.875. Make that a decimal, move the decimal point 2 spots over to the right by multiplying by 100. But that's 87.5%. Now this is where you have to pay close attention. That's the percent you paid. So if you want to find the discount, you have to take 100% minus that, which would be 12.5%. That's one way you could do the question. The other option is, instead of knowing the sale price, you could figure out how much discount you had, which in this case would be at $6.25, and then go through the problem that way, and you'll get the exact same answer of 12.5%. So there's a few options here, but you just want to make sure that you know what your percent is dealing with in that situation. Okay, we've talked a lot about discounts already. A discount should be a decrease from the original amount, so it should be 100% minus the discount for percent paid. But there's also something known as markup, okay, which was the jewelry store question, where I have a price and then I add into it and then sell it for a higher amount. That's what's known as a markup. And stores have to mark things up in order to make a profit. So these are the two main ideas. Another version of markup is also a tax. So like sales tax, for example, in Indiana is right now at 7%. Each state has a different sales tax, but that's also a version of a markup that you might see. Okay, the next few slides are just example questions, and the difference here versus the chart is it's not all organized for you. So this says the original price of the shorts is $35. That's the whole amount. What is the sale price? Well, you say, well, I don't know what percent off it is. You may have to look in your pictures from your homework. It says it's 25% off. Remember, 25% off means I paid 75%. So I'm just looking for 75% of 35, and I get $26.25. Notice there's not a whole lot of work that has to be shown here, but you have to show a setup and then the answer. So make sure you show me a setup of that situation and then the answer for each question that you do for your homework and a test situation. Next one says, I'm going to buy a pair of old gold and black Purdue self-lacing Nike shoes, like from Back to the Future or something. Okay, I bought them for $138, but that was with a 40% coupon. Okay, 40% off. So if it was 40% off, I paid 60%. So then the part, $138, is the final price, equals 60% of the original price. You have to think to yourself, shouldn't my original price be higher? If you solve this and get an original price that's lower, you messed up because it's in the wrong spot. The other thing you don't want to do here is you don't want to find 40% of this number, 138, and then add it back in, because that 40% was not based on that sale price. It was based on the original price. So you always want to deal with percent paid and then work backwards by dividing by that percentage to find the answer. Again, not a whole lot of work, but you have a setup and then find your answer. Best Buy pays $250 for a computer. Okay, so that's how much they had to pay to get it, and then they mark it up 70%. Okay, so the original price, $250, that's the whole, and then it's 170% because it's the 100% of the cost plus an additional 70%. And then I take 1.7 times that number, and I get $425. So far, all of our numbers are working out fairly well. If you get a number that keeps going on and on in the decimal after the decimal point, remember money always rounds to two places in our currency and money system. So you want to make sure that you do that for these questions. Original price of the t-shirt, $15. Okay, 35% off. Remember, you want to work backwards. I don't want 35% off. I want to know percent paid. Think about the health bar. Whole thing is 100%. 35% off leaves me with 65%. I take 65% of the original price, which is $15, and I get $9.75. And also think about it. If you get a number that's higher than 15, that makes no sense because it's supposed to be a discounted number. Some of you also will get into a little bit of a trap here because you want to try to add sales tax into all these questions because you're thinking about, well, what would happen if I actually purchased the item? Unless they tell you something about sales tax, you just need to ignore the sales tax right now. Just do the markup and find the answer and then deal with the next piece. Okay, the discount on some package of socks, 15%, on sale for $17, so that's the part. Okay, so that's the part, equals, I paid 85% of the whole. So notice, I keep using this equation. You can use the proportion. It would be 17 over x equals 85 over 100. Either option will work, but once you get rolling, the equation really might be beneficial, so it might be something to think about if you haven't tried it. I'm going to have to take 17 divided by 0.85 in order to find the answer of $20 for the original price of the socks. Store pays $15 for the cap. That's the original price. Markup 60%, so that's 100% plus an additional 60%. So I need to find 160% of 15, so 1.60 times 15. They're going to sell it for $24 in order to make a profit. Okay, that was a lot of questions, a lot of similarities, a few differences. There should be three main pieces. Either I'm looking for a percent, I'm looking for the original whole amount, or I'm looking for the sale price. The key thing is the sale price is going to be lower if it's a discount and higher if it's a markup or a tax. So you want to make sure that you show your setup, show your work. Okay, you can use a calculator to find the final answer. And if it's a money-related question, make sure you round to the nearest hundredth or nearest cent. Have a good day, everyone.